We're
Wrong button!
I love this game and my friends, every single one of them. And you would think I would not have been caught by surprise at that exclamation. But you would think wrong. Because I was expecting a different source. Ellie has delegated this time. And I'm okay with this. And if Chroma doesn't have inspiration, then Chroma can have inspiration.
Chroma was already inspired.
Well, then like water off a duck's back. Okay. Hello, and welcome to Pack Tactics Season 3. This is a homebrew Dungeons & Dragons campaign. I am Crash, and tonight I will be your DM. But I don't slide into DMs. It doesn't work that way. Tonight, I am joined by a bunch of awesome people, including, but not limited to, Archbeth is hanging out in chat, Ellie is here, EO is here, Jen is here, Matt is here, Cindy is here. And, so... last week some things occurred. What were they?
We fought and 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 we fought.
I was gone for most of it, but I know I used up a lot of spell slots while I was gone, so I guess we had an exciting time.
It was interesting.
Yeah, we fought 2 Umber Hulks, 1 lizard person, and whatever said hungry and tried to eat us.
Right.
We haven't bothered trying to identify that thing.
Well, it's a pile of goo now, so good luck. Yep.
And after everything was over, we found out the lizard person wasn't dead. We healed him a bit, and we gave him the same deal we gave the last lizard person. Don't be violent, just cooperate with us. We'll try to raise your friends and find you someplace on Circulus you can live. Which they find confusing. I'm not sure how much more straightforward I can put that.
It must be something lost in translation between the languages.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
don't get it.
they might be from a ring world, but they're not used to space travel. This is all very new.
Oh, okay.
Their first experience with space travel was being sucked up off of the surface of the ring world onto a moon.
Oh.
And they had to roll very, very well to survive the trip.
Okay.
Not all of them did.
No.
Most of them did not. And
We'll
a
try to
significant
revive
number
the
of them,
friends of theirs we can.
Right. I don't know that. I mean,
a
here's a
significant
cue for
number
that.
of their clan that did survive, once they got to the moon, were fed to that thing that kept saying hungry. So there was that. I will allow anyone who cares to make a survival check after the fact to see if they could identify anything about the thing that kept saying hungry.
Okay.
You know, oddly enough, despite being a druid, I'm not very good at survival. I guess I
rolled
rely too much on Goodberry.
probably. I rolled a 17 plus 3, so the screen
So
there
you got a
says
dirty 20.
20. Yeah.
Well-
I can...
I had a very high target for this, but a 20 will hit it. And also a 23 will hit it, so Neri's
Wow.
aware of what this was too. While it was bloated to almost the point beyond recognition and definitely was unrecognizable during the fight, examining it after the fact, particularly the limbs, most of the limbs seemed to survive, and a significant portion of the head also survived. It looks like it may have been some kind of Neogi, but it was a lot larger and more bloated than the Neogi that you saw in either of the encounters you've had with Neogi so far.
Well, that's
Weren't-
really weird.
Weren't the Neogi? Weren't they the things that we saw on the other side of the?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, the other side of the
Neogi
pit.
we're familiar with are spider creatures with mind control powers, though they do like eating people. So that's not new, but being like the pit creature is.
But
Yeah,
one
that's
of them
strange.
was a friend. This definitely not a friend.
Also true. So I'm going to say that at the end of that encounter, you packed up the 2 living lizard folk who are Mirik and Kapesk. Mirik is the shaman. His outfit has a lot of feathers all over it. Kapesk is more of a warrior. And you keep noticing that Snacks, every time Kapesk moves somewhere, Snacks is on the other side of somebody else,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely
which is a little awkward for some of them. Kapesk doesn't seem to notice this.
good.
And also a couple lizard folk corpses, because you were able to identify 2. In the pit, there really wasn't much that was salvageable, but the 2 that you and your party killed, those
Right.
one of
Yeah.
them did require a bit of a spatula, but you did put them in like the cargo hold. They're with the mushrooms, but they're not currently feeding the mushrooms.
Okay.
Because lizard folk are friends, not mushroom food.
Right.
Yeah, but if they attack us again, I'm ready to change that.
Yep. Same.
They have rolled very high on their insight checks, and they have reasoned that you will smite them into a puddle if they attempt that again. Because the last time it was attempted, one of them became a lightning rod briefly, and the other one didn't fare so much better. And you have a relatively uneventful flight back to the central base that the Council of Tales and the Circle of Tales are using as a base of operations, where they're spreading out and checking out the various facilities and whatnot. And when you land, the two lizard folk are escorted out, and a bunch of kobolds, I guess, are sent in to carry out the corpses.
Okay, right. So we should explain the situation to Marwise and possibly the others, and then get our long rest. Then get our long rest and head back to the ruins, because we still want to check out the rest of that fort.
Yeah, well, we still haven't found if the other kobolds that were sent out were, if they survived.
Yeah, but we should let the circle know exactly how dangerous this place is right now, and let them know that we are still alive, so they don't try sending anyone else after us immediately.
Well, they've been sending people stronger. I mean, who are they going to send other than, Gox? I don't know.
Well, as you're having
Who's
this
left
conversation,
if we go down,
as you're having this
Go ahead.
conversation, several kobolds carrying shields and spears surround the lizard folk.
They've promised not to be
They're
violent
not.
for now.
They're not here to fight.
We've made a bargain with them.
guess, but we're kind of under orders. So,
To do what?
Under orders from who?
To do what?
the council's orders.
Whose orders? Sorry?
The council's.
To...
Well, they're not kobolds, and you just came back from a place where a bunch of kobolds didn't come back. So, we kind of need to put them under guard and decide what to do with them.
But they didn't do it.
Did you see them not do it?
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, if you didn't see them not do it, then you can't prove they didn't do it.
Wait, don't you need evidence?
Actually,
they
I
did
did
it first?
see them not do it.
Yeah.
You just said that doesn't make any sense. You can't see them not do it, and if you didn't see them not do it,
my
then you can't
goodness.
prove they didn't do it.
Well, I forgot. I'm
At least that's
forgetful.
At least that's my understanding. I try not to think about it because it makes my head hurt.
How many guards are standing there?
There's about 15 of them.
Oh my goodness. You don't need 15 guards for 2 lizard folk.
Have you seen our CR level? We kind of do.
How about I escort them to wherever and you just let me handle it?
Another kobold comes out, and this one has a monocle, which
Oh no.
is a bit awkward for some, but he's rocking it. He's looking good in it.
Okay.
He's also wearing some very fine-looking clothing, and
Do we know who that is?
you may have seen him around. Give me
Okay.
a history check.
History
All
check.
right.
Okay. I've got a 12. No,
Now
a
you got
24.
I have a 13. That's it.
18.
So anything above a 15, you've seen this particular member of the council before. Hasn't always been very vocal in events. Occasionally he would stand up and make a small speech or whatever, and everyone would applaud awkwardly or whatever, which is actually standard fare for anyone who stands up to make a speech. For various reasons. When Zeely stands up to make a speech, there's awkward applause because, like, do we really want to encourage her? Have you seen what she does? So maybe awkward applause is just like the norm. It's the status quo. But this particular kobold is named Sniv Stonetail. The Stonetail clan is one of the larger clans that joined the Circle of Tales, in fact. And Sniv is not just the representative to the council for the Stonetail clan. Sniv is the patriarch as well of the Stonetail clan. They're the oldest. Yes, what seems to be the problem?
These lizard folk helped us out a bit, and we also promised them that if they cooperate and they're not violent, that we'll look at trying to raise their friends and find a place on Circulus for them to live.
So you are
Because
in the
the
habit
clones
of...
were both messed up by the Neogi. There were Neogi there, right? That's what...
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. 3 of them.
Right.
4 if you count the
4
large
if you
one.
count
that
the
tried
big
to-
one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, if that is the case, then certainly the lizard folk will corroborate the tale. We do have some individuals who are capable of casting Zone of Truth, so the truth will out, as they say. Lead them away. Lead them away. And the 15 kobolds with shields and spears, who seem to be spending more time keeping an eye on Zax than the lizard folk,
Probably a good plan.
slowly escort the lizard folk away. And as the
Look, they've been pacified. Can you be a little less heavy-handed with them?
We could, but we have lost a significant number of kobolds already. And you might be aware, bringing them back is quite expensive. But we're not just going to throw them in prison and let them rot. We will investigate this. Oh, you can leave those there. You can leave those there. We will not be needing to bring those in. Sniv is pointing to the kobolds who are trying to carry the corpses in. Just put them up
Why
against the wall.
not?
Well, they'll keep as they are. It's not like they're going to be brought back anytime soon.
How long
many
is the line?
people are on the waiting list?
Well, considering the number of kobolds we've lost over the past month, considerable number. The wait list is quite long. And frankly, it seems to be we have other needs than bringing back one kobold a day.
For the record, Marwai should be bringing back a lot more than that. And some of her spells are contingent on how long they've been dead.
Sniv said what Sniv said.
May I speak to Marwise, Sniv?
Oh, certainly. If Marwise is able to pull her attention away from her own duties, certainly. I assume the mission went well otherwise. You found the source of what was destroying the kobolds in that particular area?
We found a source.
Probably the Neogi. Neogi also come packaged with Umberhulk. So we
It's
managed
kind
to
of
get
a
out.
big battle, but I'm going to suggest you don't send any more kobolds out for that, other than us.
Yeah, we still
But
want to
there
make
are
another
other
sweep, but we need to rest
Things
first.
to do than bringing back one kobold a day. So, what's Mom doing? I mean, is she... I mean, what are the other... I mean...
The last I saw your mother, she was cackling wildly, which is, I do believe, is par for the course.
I mean, yeah.
But I did not stick my head in to see what was the cause of her jubilation at the time.
Okay, that's fair.
And as things are, while there are a significant number of kobolds that should truly be brought back over time, again, the bodies will keep. We do have a means of cold storage, if you will. And there seems to be a certain fleet that was discovered recently, and the various expensive ingredients that might be used for resurrection spells might be also readily handy for repairing and retrofitting said fleet to better protect ourselves so that we do not have to bring back so many kobolds in the future.
But everyone who's dead's gonna get brought back still, right? Even if it takes longer?
Oh, I'm sure. Just not right away, not while our defenses are severely compromised. I know part of the expedition towards retaking the moon involved destroying several facilities that could be used for our defense. I mean, rightly so. They needed to be neutralized, but now we kind of need them back up and running. And actually, about that,
Yes?
would you be interested, by any chance, in attempting to repair some of these facilities?
We still need
Yes,
to
but I
do-
gotta help the others make sure there's nothing bad still in the ruins first.
Oh, no, it's quite all right. I had a conversation with the Warforged, and they seemed quite interested in investigating that particular set of ruins. They felt that there might be
that's-
some amount of salvage available there that they would be able to make use of, and considering the large amount of damage that had occurred there probably is not much that we'd be able to repair and keep for ourselves anyway. And besides, the Warforged are quite expendable.
Whoa. Okay. So in
Well,
the
they're not
ruins we were just
kobolds.
in are not cleared. There's at least 3 Neogi running around in there, and they can like mess with your head. You know.
He understands. Zax? Did I get your name right?
Yeah.
He understands Zax. And I feel I should try to roll a bluff because Zenosha is really, really angry at that expendable statement, but
Wait.
she knows she's talking to a diplomat and is trying not to show it.
Expendable statement? I didn't...
Yep.
He
Hear
said the
that
war.
one.
Said the
he said
Warforged are
Warforged
expendable.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. The thing cut out.
Ah.
Chroma sort of tilts her head but if they get killed, then there will be even more people on the resurrection waiting list.
Well,
Aren't we
certainly
trying
they
to...
won't be given preference over kobolds.
Oh.
Zenosha's making a mental note. Research assassination.
So,
I can help with that.
so they're expendable?
Well, more
That's-
expendable than kobolds, to be certain.
Okay, I'm walking away.
So you're
Walking away
saying
from
they
this.
can just go into the... Okay, I get it. I get it now.
Next follows the big guy.
Fair enough.
All right, I understand.
Wonderful. So, you've had a particularly long day, I'm told, and it is quite understandable if you wish to meet with your mother and your other patrons and perhaps take a load off for the rest of the... Well, day-night cycles are kind of weird here right now. It's understandable. But, take a long, long rest, and then first thing in the equivalent of morning, head out to one of the force cannon installations and repair the... I can't believe I'm saying this, but a lot of the kobolds here have started calling them moonbeams. Yes, repair one of the moonbeams.
It's a great name.
It's debatable, but I can't really control it. Right, well, off you go. And, Chroma, one more thing.
Yes?
That large, sphere thing that you found in one of the sub-basements, while you were gone, there were several kobold inventors that we had take a look at it and the various what's-wickies and doodads and thingamabobs, and we've come to the determination that it's far too dangerous to mess with right now, not while most kobolds are based within, shall we say, a theoretical blast radius. So, best not to mess with that for now. Don't go pressing any buttons.
I understand. Don't worry. I won't press any buttons.
See that you don't. Good day. And Sniv...
Right, so is everything settled?
Sniv fades away.
Okay, so Chroma, you're still coming with us tomorrow, right?
Where'd he go?
I assumed he just walked into the hallway of the building
No, he
we
fades
were
away.
approaching.
He faded away.
Faded away? Okay.
He told you
Oh.
to execute Order 66 and then faded away.
All right, if I notice he's gone, I'm going to come back to the group.
Right, so, right,
Well, I'm gonna talk to Marwise, see what I can do about getting the lizard folk resurrected and transport way sooner than that guy would let happen.
Yeah, something's wrong with that guy.
He
Really
called
want
the
to punch him.
Warforged expendable. I think I know
Really
exactly
want to
what's
punch
wrong.
him. But,
I mean,
I
you
don't think that's going
could.
to work out so good.
At your level,
I
you
would-
could if you wanted to. I actually have an encounter set up because I had a suspicion that one of you might attempt that. I mean, I do recall an event where I had a high-level lich having a conversation with the party, and halfway through the opening monologue, somebody cast Scorching Ray. I'm not
I think it
naming
was
names.
Firebolt.
Probably.
It could have been fire. Fire was involved. Fire damage was involved. It happened
Yes, it was.
mid-sentence. I'm not naming names. It could have been any kobold sorcerer. So I was prepared for that possibility, but I applaud your restraint, even if it would have been a very interesting encounter, because this person is stabbed.
So, right, okay,
I will tell you, you also saw that they
I-
had a lute with them.
A lute, so he's probably a bard.
Likely a bard. That or they just have music proficiency, or they like lutes.
I use the word likely, not definitely, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fast
Right,
forward 3 episodes,
right.
you see them playing and they can't hold a tune. Somebody
Alright.
once told me the world is gonna roll.
No.
no.
So, okay, so yeah, I'll talk to Marwise, see what we can do for the lizard people right away. Chroma,
Yes,
I know you want to work on the moonbeams, but I'm hoping you'll join us tomorrow to finish clearing out the ruins.
oh, I just said all that stuff to be nice.
Okay, fair enough. And that's probably
Mom
all.
says she's the only one who's allowed to yell at diplomats.
Well, I wasn't going to yell at him.
Point of order, while that is true, Monty has suggested other fates.
Okay.
And it's an insight check to determine whether or not you think he's being sarcastic, as none of you understand his true nature.
No.
Your roll
No.
would be at disadvantage, but Zeely would be rolling at advantage and probably telling him no. Well, maybe. It depends on the situation for the yelling, whether or not Zeely would be telling him no.
Fair.
Zeely might also just be yelling fireball.
Also fair.
But yeah, talking to Marwise is probably the only significant thing Zenosha's doing for the rest of the day till we're ready to go back to the ruins.
Okay, now I will not RP Marwise or their reaction to this. But news that Marwise will be able to give you is that the council, by a vast majority, has voted to temporarily suspend kobold resurrections because the spells that can be used to generate resources that would be used to cast said spells would be better used to build up defenses so you're not resurrecting kobolds in order to watch them die again, because some of the ones that were early on in the waitlist are back on the waitlist already. You're dealing with very low CR creatures here, so we can keep having them just be like lemmings, or we can build up some more defenses like the moonbeams and the fleet. And the council decided, we're going to apprentice a bunch of kobold inventors. It's great that we have Chroma, and it's great that we have Fiddle Punch, but we have Chroma and Fiddle Punch and occasionally Cogbucket Prime to mend things, and that's not enough. So we're going to apprentice a bunch of kobolds to Fiddle Punch to figure out how to make helms and how to repair this fleet so we can get that up and running so that we have, possibly the option of orbital bombardment to take out threats rather than sending in team after team of kobolds. I mean, JR technically got killed twice on your mission. They'd like that to not happen on a regular basis. So that was the understanding that was put forward. It was put to a vote, and they decided, put the resurrections on hold. We do have enough kobolds to do this thing. Let's do this, and once we have this done, then we'll start bringing kobolds back again. Now, whether Marwise follows that or not, that's up to Marwise.
I do imagine that Marwise would, as a general rule, be generous with her supplies, depending on exactly how much Monty is willing to give to the circle. But she would also have her own stash, and I imagine this situation, especially since Zips didn't exactly lie, but heavily implied the opposite, Marwise would be willing to just kind of slip under the rules for a little bit.
Okay, that's valid. And to be fair, the council didn't say, you powerful kobolds from season 1 and 2, start using your wish spells to give us money. They did not say that. They said, if you're going to be conjuring up these supplies, might we suggest, repairing the barn door so that when we put the horse back in there, it stays in there.
Yeah, Marwise and Zenosha would both get the logic, but since Zips implied that they were still being resurrected once a day, Zenosha especially isn't happy, and Marwise is like, okay.
Snips?
Just for that, I'll help you out right now.
Their name is Sniv, if you're talking about that one dip. Yes, Sniv. Yes. SNIV.
Sorry, don't know how I got Zip.
It's similar.
But you know what? There's probably a councilman name or council member named Snips at some point. Or Zips. But there's a Sniv, there's a Snips, there's a Zips, there's a Quips, there's a Nips.
Wow.
I will note that duplicating spells means you do it without the materials. You don't summon the materials. With Wish, I mean.
Yes, but if you're casting a Wish spell to duplicate a spell, then you're not casting a Wish spell to acquire materials that could be used to, say, repair an angel ship. And the request was, let's prioritize that.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm trying to put this in a way that is not in any way... Okay, yeah, good words.
As an aside, the DM will say that when he designed the character Sniv Stonetail, the DM was hoping that the party as a whole would despise him, but find it hard to come up with a justifiable reason for just killing him on the spot.
Well, you got that down.
You have succeeded.
But
Yeah.
only spell duplication is a safe use of wish. So I think the current state of Zelie is unfindable because she had a screaming match over people ordering her to, well, not ordering her to, but implying that she should be risking it and left. She is somewhere.
Monty probably suggested that she go to one of his favorite locations on Circulus, which is a rather desolate, fire-blasted area near a volcano, where she could, let loose her various destructive spells without fear of injuring anyone, just to let off a lot of steam.
Yeah, so Chroma has looked for her mom. Chroma did not find her mom.
Or, based on what I've just said, Monty either.
There's why, yeah.
Yep.
Wow. I'm going to guess that if Gox is aware that the kobolds are being sent out again and just dying again, he's going to take the ones that are left and try to train them so that they at least have better skill and maybe can level up eventually.
Okay,
protect the weak and all that.
Question.
Yeah.
So, I was killed when a wall that was about 40 feet high fell over and landed on me. So, how do I dodge a 40-foot high wall? What skill do I use for that?
You need a really good shield, okay? And then you kind of hide under it like a turtle.
Oh, I saved the shield
evasion.
from last time. Here it's and they pull out what appears to be a small disc. That your first thought is that a coin? No, that's what's left of their shield. It is wafer thin. Like, yeah, here's the shield that I was using at the time. It was a bit thicker before.
Okay, so were you indoors or were you outdoors?
Before or after?
Before the wall fell on you, were you inside a building or outside it?
Well, the building landed on me, so I was inside it before, and then I guess I was under it.
Okay, so the skill you need is to, before you go rushing in, assess the area.
We brought him back in a bucket.
Okay, well, I'm going to help you not come back in a bucket. First thing you need to do before you go running in is assess the area for safety. Doesn't take long. All right, let me just round everybody up and teach them the whole same thing. Here, everybody, come here.
I have a question.
Okay.
So, there was apparently a power reactor in the building I was in. Well, I was in it briefly. Pressing the button on the door caused it to overheat, and there's another crater now. So, how do we open doors without dying instantly? Do you have a training for that?
Okay, well, if the buttons on the doors here are triggering that, then you find another spot and break through the wall that way. But you got to do it right.
I think he's talking about the buttons that serve the airlock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, hi, it's me again, the guy who got killed by the wall. It turns out that there were people trying to make a hole in the wall, and that's how I died. So,
okay, so I think the first thing we're going to need to do is sit everybody down and teach you a little bit of strategy and, put in, an order here of, follow the person that's in charge, here's the person in charge, and go from there. Somebody's got to be smart enough to figure this out. Can't help everybody at once.
I died in a cave-in. Lucky you, I got eaten by an asteroid. An asteroid, they don't eat people. Well, this one did.
Oh, is there another beholderkin we need to take care of?
Hey, Mary?
Snacks is grateful he was rescued.
Yes.
Let's go, warn the Warforged that it's not safe in the area yet.
That seems wise.
So at this point, Gox is stressed out because he's never seen a more unprepared group of barbarians, which he assumed he was getting. He was getting barbarians, but no.
They were prepared for combat, but most of them did not die in combat. They died to buildings falling over and old tech going bad. And
that's it's still tactical. In his mind, it's still tactical, and they should be able to learn these skills at least before they go out again.
And certainly for a level 19 barbarian, it all makes total sense, especially if said level 19 barbarian is also a gold dragon.
Right, yeah.
But you're talking to CR 1/4 kobolds. Mm-hmm. A few of them are CR 1 because they leveled up a bit, but for the most part, they're cannon fodder.
Yeah. Well, he was expecting, kobolds he could make into soldiers, and they're nowhere near that.
They are soldiers in an army using pack tactics. They are quite formidable. That's not what's taking them down.
Yeah, but still, I don't know. Gox is also considering just going with them next time.
It's the environment, and there isn't much they can do against it.
Yeah. Imagine if you will
from it, though.
Imagine if you will the entire moon is difficult terrain, and you've got one working spaceship right now.
Gox can fly, though. He can fly short distances, I would think.
Yes, and there are a handful of winged kobolds, but most of them leg it.
Yeah, that's got to stop.
Well, yeah, that's why there is a push to get the angel ships rebuilt, because then there's no legging it. You fly in with an armed warship that can turn invisible and fire orbs of darkness at things, and if there's a problem, the problem turns into a crater, and you're done.
Okay,
or
so by the end of...
invisible and runs away.
By the end of this training, Gox is looking for something to punch, I mean...
There's like 15 kobolds that raise their hand and say, not it!
No.
We've seen you punch through a wall. Not it.
Cox ends up inventing the punching bag.
Yeah. Maybe.
And after he finishes inventing it, Zeely shows up and sets it on fire.
Which could happen, yeah. But, I mean, I think he would be really angry that the council sent out a group that was so unprepared and then sent them again.
I am going to create a custom magical item, a homebrew magical item in D&D Beyond. Mark my words. Punching bag of regeneration.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Specifically for this instance.
Idea.
Gox punches it once. It implodes. It comes back together. Zax comes over, punches it once. It flies across the room, bursts open, and then it comes back together. Zeely sets it on fire. It melts. It comes back together.
I like this idea.
It will have no combat value whatsoever, but it'll be a fun little magical item to exist. It'll be a common magical item. Relatively inexpensive to mass produce. Okay, now, two of you have gone searching for the Warforged. The Warforged have already left.
Well...
We do have a spaceship.
Mm-hmm. We do.
Soon, you'll all be fighting for your planet. Many of you will be dying for your planet. A few of you will be put through a fine mesh screen for your planet. They will be the luckiest of all. Some of you may die, but that is a price I am willing to pay. And by the way, Snacks has inspiration.
So, spaceship?
So let's go hunt down those Warforged.
For the record, if Zenosha's resting by this point, she's probably in her room on the Red Star, because especially after meeting Mr. Monocle, she's more comfortable on the Red Star.
Go figure.
Hi, Zenosha.
Hello.
I don't know where Zax would be exactly, but she'd probably given up on helping train the kobolds.
So,
Shoot himself.
the Red Star is full of kobolds.
What?
Yes. There are a lot of kobolds that are going over and cleaning things and repairing things, and Fiddle Punch is there with about 6 kobolds, and he's going over the helm. He has the helm half disassembled, showing them how it works.
Fiddle Punch?
Yeah? But sorry, wrong voice. Yeah? You hang around kobolds this long, you start picking up some of their idiosyncrasies.
I typically sit there.
Right.
Yeah, well, I was told you were all going to be taking a long rest, so you weren't going to be using the helm for a little while, so it was suggested that I give some practical experience to the young apprentices here.
So, I thought this was after we took a long rest.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the statement was made that Zenosha would be going to the Red Star to take for a long rest.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Okay, so yeah, if this is just when Zenosha goes there to take her long rest, she's just going to be like, okay, thank you guys. Don't mind me. I'll be sleeping in my room over there.
Yeah, and once you designate the crew quarters are going to be occupied by you, they give you your space. But everywhere that you aren't, there are kobolds doing one task or another.
That is fair.
Okay. So when Jack gets there, I'm going to find my room, and I'm going to just, push the rest of the kobolds out of that room. Like, mine, go, bye, go. Out of my way, mine. Close the door. take a rest.
Chroma will find a space to close herself up in, probably the part of the ship where she's been keeping her tools and such, and muffled screaming can be heard from the other side of the door.
Don't worry.
That's
this
valid.
is how she relaxes.
So it's very important you never touch this wire with this wire, or you will create a catastrophic meltdown. The melting will not so much be the helm. It's actually very robust. It'll survive that. The melting will be you. So don't touch. No, what did I say? Don't touch that. But I wanted to see which one. No. Now, if you could please put the scorpion on a stick away. I know that you're all kobold inventors, but do you each have to have a scorpion on a stick? It's mandatory. That
raises more questions than it answers.
I have a lot of concerns. Who put this green slime here? That's me, sorry. Why isn't it in a bottle? It dissolved the bottle. Why wasn't it a glass bottle? You can do that?
Oh god, he's having as much fun as Gox was. It's terrible.
I have spent the last 15 years dealing with kobolds, and I wasn't expecting this.
You never tried to teach
failure
him,
on my
did you?
part.
Ellie, just so you know from your terrible, terrible thought, remember that beings from the Bag of Tricks, upon their death, they cease to be. You cannot actually consume them.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
But
Anything
the
taken
Metroid
off
also
of them
just
goes away.
the Metroid also just seems to consume energy, though.
So far, that's all you've seen it consume.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair.
There's a lot about it that you don't quite understand because you have a demographic of one.
One of those, yeah.
And if you've asked around, you haven't found anyone who knows anything about it. Even Zelix, when they were on the ship, was rather silent about it. They kept their distance, but it's a floating parasite that attaches itself to things. So you didn't think that was too odd.
Well, if it's starving, you can probably bring it to Gox and he'll turn into a dragon and go, oh, look at the cute little guy. Let him, you know.
Oh, look, he thinks he's people. He's trying to eat your face. Yeah, isn't he cute? They're so cute.
That's about, yeah, like he does with baby kobolds to try to, like, bite and all that.
In my head, it would attach itself right between Gox's eyes, so you'd see Gox cross his eyes to stare at it.
Yeah. And if he does it as a dragon, he's not really in any danger from this thing at all.
More or less, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have your long rest, and as you are waking up and recovering from your long rest and wiping the sleep out of your eyes and maybe having one more large scream into a pillow, for some of you, you're still hearing Fiddle Punch on the bridge saying, okay, well, all right, we just need to finish putting these last few pieces together. Now, you might be surprised to know that a ship's helm is a very unusual piece of equipment in that, unlike every other device that I have ever built or repaired in my very long life, and I assure you it's quite long, when you put it back together, there are no spare parts. Everything you take out can fit back in. Okay, well, what does this do? Where did you get that? I took it off, you put it in. That was the first piece I put back in. Uh-huh. Oh, thank goodness Chroma's up. What's up?
I'm going to take a look at the helm.
The helm looks like it is mostly intact, except for the one piece that Fiddle Punch is now disassembling one panel so that he can put it back in properly. This has all been done under Fiddle Punch's guidance, so even though he had 6 kobolds attempting chaos, it doesn't appear that much chaos has been committed. If anything, the green slime took off some of the tarnish.
Huh.
It's shinier than usual.
How are the inventors doing?
I'm optimistic that we won't have many fatalities.
Oh, no.
Well, I started with 6, and we currently have 6. So, not without one to try.
So you're doing better. So you're doing better than the council.
So, what did happen down with the big, half-orb thingy?
Oh, that's been put under guard. They don't want anyone going in and messing with it.
Is it exploding?
I mean,
more explodey than the average magic item?
That's
To
a
be
pretty
honest-
high bar.
To be honest, I did not spend a lot of time investigating it. I've mostly been working on the ships.
Oh,
You were the one hanging out down there so much.
and then the inventors were.
Well, if I'm going to be honest, if you want to blame the posted guards on someone, it'd be Zips here. I resent that. You also resemble it. Well, I mean, that's also true. I resent that I resemble it.
All right. Right. So,
Well, I was told that after your long rest, you were going to be heading to one of those installations and repairing a... I honestly can't believe they're calling it moonbeams now. I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense, but I would have come up with some cool acronym or something.
Yeah, but see, you've been working with some of these kobolds. Do you
could
think
come
they
up with an
remember the
acronym that spells moonbeam.
Yeah, I could.
But then they'd just be calling it Moonbeam anyway, because that's a lot of letters to keep with an
To be
acronym.
honest, what really surprises me is not that they came up with a name that wasn't an acronym, is that they weren't calling it Worst Flashlight.
Oh, you got a point there.
You know, that's fair.
Well, we do need to use the ship, and we might have to make a couple of stops before Chroma gets her chance to work on the moonbeams.
Well, this is almost back together. Just one more thing, and he reaches over and punches the one that you now know is named Zips. And Zips looks at him and then looks at Fiddlepunch's hand, which is open palm up. And Zips slowly reaches into a pocket and pulls out another screw and puts it in Fiddlepunch's hand. Thank you. And Fiddlepunch puts that last screw into place and says, right, good as new. Okay, the rest of you, off the ship. Yes, you too. Yes, take the skunk with you. But he wants to go
Please
on an
take the skunk
adventure.
with you.
Take the
No,
skunk
no,
with you.
no,
No adventure. No adventure.
I have
for
no
skunk.
objections to the skunk.
no, 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 no.
Oh, no.
Whose bag
I
of
can't
wasps is
cast-
this? I think it's mine.
That's gotta
No, it's
go.
mine. That's mine.
All right, Kobold Inventors, take all of your stuff, not our stuff. Leave
Does
our
anyone
stuff
see my
here
lunch?
and get off the ship.
I fed
You
it to
know,
the
with
green
all those
slime.
bags of wasps, you'd think that infestation would be on my spell list.
With all those bags of wasps, you don't need infestation on your spell list.
You could just throw it.
True.
You
Fiddlepunch,
just
are we
need
gonna have
access
to
to a trebuchet.
Fiddlepunch? Are we gonna have to frisk these guys and make sure they didn't steal our stuff before you set them free?
I kept an eye on them. They didn't go
All right.
anywhere outside the cabin. To be honest,
Okay.
as soon as I took the helm apart, their eyes were fixed on that. Most of the chaos happened right around that.
Okay, cool. Make sure they get all their junk off of here, whatever critters they brought.
If they don't try to put tab A into slot B when they're building their own helms, I suppose everything's going to be okay.
All right.
All right, well, have fun repairing the moonbeams.
Yep.
I will come up with an acronym for that. That was a good idea. I'm going to take that under advisement. All right, I'm getting too old for this.
Aw.
And Fiddlepunch.
Well, thanks for
heads
fixing stuff, and see you later.
I live for it.
Moon Oppositional Optical Nuclear Blaster Embedded Artillery Magazine.
Wow.
Does Neri have inspiration?
Tragically, yes.
That's a good one. All right. So at this point, the Red Star appears to be free of kobolds that currently don't have their icons on the title card currently being streamed.
Okay. Where's JR?
Hopefully someplace safe.
JR waves.
Oh, good. Okay.
Hey,
They've been sitting
JR.
in their chair the whole time.
Okay. JR's all right.
So.
So we're ready to clear out some ruins before some Warforged get there?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay. So the Red
Let's
Star
take
takes
off.
off, and you fly not towards one of the Moonbeam installations, but instead towards the ruins that you've spent the last 2 episodes at.
Oh, I'll fly towards the Moonbeam installation until I'm out of sight of the Kobold base, and then I'll go off toward the ruin.
Okay. And we will figure out what happens when you get there when we come back from a break, because we've been playing for about an hour.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We'll be right back. are back, and just so you know, outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. But inside of a dog, it's too dark to read anyway.
It's awful.
And you probably have different concerns at that point. That's not when you're going to curl up with a good book. Okay, so you have reached the ruins that you were at before, and you see several warforged that are milling about, picking up rocks and putting them down in various places.
Oh dear.
Okay, let's go talk to the Warforged and see what they're doing.
Let's ask if any of them have gone into the fort at the side of the crater yet.
Good idea.
Okay. When you land, one of the Warforged approaches you. It happens to be OEM-42, who is...
The one with the ears, right?
No, OEM-42 is the Warforged leader.
Oh, the leader. Okay.
Yeah.
I get the numbers wrong. And letters.
It's quite all right. The DM is only getting them right because the DM made a list.
Ah, good plan. Okay.
CNC84 is your bot.
That's it. Okay.
Yes. But OEM-42 you can recognize because they have a fancy sash that says Union President.
Okay. Is this the one that I picked up before that first battle with the giant?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Okay,
have to
so
go back
Zax
over
doesn't
to the
know
episode.
either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But OEM-42 approaches you as your ship lands and goes, "Ah, yes! Wonderful! Reinforcements! Fantastic! You can help us search."
You've been hanging out with the GIF.
Yeah.
I do not like that insinuation. I'm still upset that he tried imitating my voice.
Okay, so what are you doing out here?
Well, we were told that we could investigate and look for loot and monsters, and if we found any monsters, we'd get to keep them. I mean, wait, no, that's not quite right. If we found any loot, we'd get to keep it. We have found no musical instruments so far. We have also not found any dangerous monsters. There was a pit that had a bit of a fine paste and some skulls and bones.
Yeah, well, we did the fine paste, but the skulls and bones were there before.
Yeah, and we have reason to believe there are a few more monsters in that building, and
Have you gone in?
Oh, yes, in and explored all the different floors. Some of the floors are less intact than they were before. Apparently, they were not able to withstand the weight of a medium-sized construct.
wait, you've
Is everyone
explored the-
okay?
Oh, mostly.
Mostly?
Well, FAQ-93 lost an arm, but we were able to mostly reattach it with considerable amounts of an adhesive that we have attached to. It's applied to a sort of like rubbery film with a bit of fabric and then another bit of rubbery film. What have we been calling that? Duct paste. Ah, yes, duct paste. It's very handy.
Okay. Did you see any kobolds in there?
Were we supposed to?
It
I
was a
don't know.
possibility. Did you see any monsters, particularly like something that looks like a cross between a spider and a bunch of arms that's about yay high?
ABS-12, did we see any of those? Did it look like that? No, that's PVC-53. Oh, then no. No, we didn't. There were a few skulls that kind of looked like kobolds, maybe?
Okay, well, we'd like to check out that building then, because last time we were in there,
We need to
few
make
needs.
sure it's...
yeah, we want to
Clear.
make sure it's safe.
We're going in.
Oh, certainly. Would you like a map?
You have a map?
Well, yes. Well, we brought FAQ-93 with us, of course, and as our scribe, FAQ-93 is very skilled at making maps.
Oh, you've been in there and it's...
They said they fully explored it, which is why
So they have a map.
Zenosha is
Okay.
confused. She's
I
happy
lost track of how many buildings there were.
There were two that were intact enough to consider to have insides and outsides.
Okay.
You were in the forge, and you explored most of that. You didn't really go onto the second floor, but the second floor is mostly just like a walkway going around the outer edge. The fortress portion that's built into the cliffside, you went inside a little bit, but didn't explore fully because you had the whole dramatic 2-hour session of having combat.
Right.
Instead.
Right.
Which edited down was not 2 hours, not by a long shot, but you cut all the dice rolls shorter. And
So,
Okay.
yes, we would greatly appreciate a map. Thank you.
okay. So FAQ-93 comes over, and they do, in fact, have one of their arms attached to their torso with what a modern-day person would refer to as duct tape.
Well, it works.
Yeah, if it's working. Last time,
Oh, no, the arm is non-functional.
oh dear.
But
I should... take
Note to
a-
self, ask the main kobolds party about talking to a guy named Cogbucket. He should be able to get your arm back
Oh,
working.
Cogbucket's right over there, JR waves.
We mean Cogbucket Sr.
Oh, who's that?
He built JR. He's JR's dad.
Don't be silly. Warforged don't build Warforged.
Well,
He
what
does.
if
Put my
it-
hand on his shoulder. If you're going to live autonomously, you might want to learn how to.
Huh. Well, this opens up all kinds of possibilities. I could build a robot dog.
You
Pursue your
call
heart's
that-
desire.
All right, we
I could
should.
take them for walks.
Oh my.
Excuse me, FAQ 93. If you don't mind, they have asked for a map.
Oh, sorry.
Blah. And at first thought, it looks like FAQ 93 is sticking their tongue out at you, and then you realize that the portion of their face that you took to be a mouth, because it's right below like the eyes and a part that you took to be a nose, although Warforged don't technically need noses, they don't breathe, is actually a spot that feeds out paper. And
Is
you
it dot
hear-
matrix or inkjet?
Yes, it is dot matrix.
Oh, okay.
You hear that iconic sound.
Yeah.
That's it.
The little strips on the sides with the holes in them are there, and once it's done, they go and they tear off the sides and say,
Do you want to take off the little strips on the sides, or may I?
You can go ahead. if you
Whatever
want to.
makes you happy.
Oh, this makes me really happy. Yeah, thank you. They used to have these Jiffy Lube, but they replaced them. It's a shame.
Fantasy Jiffy Lube is a thing in my world, I guess. Okay.
Hey, Warforged might need their oil change too.
Technically, Fantasy Jiffy Lube would be from the world that these Warforged came from, which happens to be that one disc world. So you're not going to find them on Circulus, but still.
Oh yeah.
Unless the Warforged build one.
All right, here you go. Man, I'm going to miss the moon. It looks really exciting.
You're leaving?
Well, we were kind of told if we didn't defeat whatever monsters were here, we were going to have to go back to Circulus. Was a little weird because we've never been there, but we're not really going to be on the moon much longer now.
All right,
What?
why don't you stick around
What?
here, and if we defeat whatever's in there, you can tell them you did it.
Yeah.
Well, that's awful nice of you, but we just went through the whole thing. Why do you think we have a map?
A93.
Yeah,
On the lower fortress level, what are these stars in the upper left?
you're going to have to let the DM find those. Hold on. Oh, those are a bunch of statues. Doesn't look like they were there originally. They all just sort of got shoved into a corner.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, well, let's take a look. We saw some monsters in there, and we have a vague idea where they went at least 8 hours ago. We'll try.
All right, well, have fun. We're going to keep looking under rocks.
All right.
Yes, I have been
Fun
told that
looking under rocks.
leaving no stone unturned is the proper way to do a search. So do not leave any stone unturned. Yes, excellent job. Yes, those pebbles
I have a better
were
idea.
asking for it.
I have a better idea.
I am open to suggestions, which we will then put to a vote.
This is player asking DM. There's a reasonable atmosphere here now, right?
Yes.
That building over there, why don't you see if you can get the forges restarted?
Oh, that was the first building we looked at. The forge is not currently operational, but it was suggested that we salvage some of the material components because we were allowed to, as I pointed out half-heartedly joking, that we are allowed to salvage whatever we want and take it with us as a consolation prize.
What were the exact words?
We could take what we found, and if we found monsters that had killed kobolds and put an end to them, then we might be issued a work visa.
So say you found a forge, and you were able to get it up and running again. A forge isn't exactly movable, but according to that phrasing, you could argue you now have a right to it.
Well, we can attempt that, certainly. Yes, we will attempt this. This sounds like an excellent plan.
Okay, so that'll be our plan B, but we'll still try to find the monsters, kill them, and you can say you took care of them.
Ah, duplicity. Yes, say no more. Mum's the word. I would tap my nose with a finger, but as you can see, I don't actually have one. So let's just pretend I did that.
Okay, everyone
All
else
right.
ready to...
Yep. Let's go find the monsters.
Ah, this looks like a suspicious-looking rock. Oh, it's a turtle. No, it's a rock. It not even shaped like a turtle. I don't know how I was confused by this.
Yogi need
Okay.
to eat organic things. If
They might have not attacked the. They might not have attacked the robots.
Mhm.
right,
In hopes that they would simply leave them alone. I don't. We have a map, but they say they found nothing inside. We know the Neogi were here.
Yeah, I'm thinking we go to where we saw the Neogi and then try to follow the direction they went off. One thing to keep in mind, snacks that I don't think we told you last time. Neogi can walk on walls and ceilings just like regular spiders. So we might want to keep an eye out for somewhere a spider could go that the Warforged might not have thought of checking.
All right, and they
So
can also
we
mess
need
with your
to-
head. So just
We need
be
to
aware of
look
that.
up,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
maybe their mental powers do not work on the Warforged.
Maybe.
As you said, they
Some
eat
of them-
organic beings. Maybe they need organic brains to manipulate.
Oh, that could be.
We saw them go out through that gap in the northern wall, didn't we?
No, I
Yes,
thought they
and-
went. Did they go out or did they go?
They did go out through the gap in the northern wall. You are absolutely
Okay.
right.
Okay.
All right.
Then that's the
So-
first place we should check.
Exactly.
all right.
All right, I'll lead the way.
Okay. You get to that gap in the wall, and you see in... I forget the exact wording. It's not soil on our moon. The
Regolith?
Earth moon. Regolith, yes. In the regolith, you see what appear to be tracks that would unmistakably be Neogi, or perhaps incredibly large spiders, but more likely Neogi, or several kobolds on stilts.
That doesn't seem like that would be, so I think they went that way.
No, let's follow them.
Okay. Give me a survival check.
Okay.
If more than one's attempting, then I will let one of you roll at advantage. But let's not
Alright,
have
I-
roll.
5 rolls.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll roll.
I'll help.
Well, stay out of the way because my survival modifier is -1.
Oof.
Mine is not good either.
Mine's a +3, but
Okay,
Maybe.
with a
Depends upon-
15, you follow them for a
I
good
said I didn't
hour.
roll well.
I'm sorry?
We're able to follow the tracks for an hour.
Yeah, you follow them for a good hour, and you get to a point where the ground is a bit more rocky, where there may have been a few more recent impacts, perhaps from the ring world when things were going south, and you lose the imprints of their. They don't technically have feet, but you lose their tracks among the rockier terrain.
okay. So what's around this area they could have gone to?
Well, there's a few craters nearby. Some of them
Maybe
are
they
inside
lifted
others.
off.
There's a lot of debris that looks like it was pulled over from the ring world in an unceremonious fashion. So, like, there's huge chunks of soil that have trees attached to them, but imagine if the whole thing was in a flower pot, an incredibly large flower pot. You turned the flower pot upside down and gave it a shake. What that would look
okay.
like when it hit the ground. That's kind of what you see here in a bunch of places. Oh, and there's that building over there.
Building. Let's go
Oh.
check it out.
Yeah.
It appears to
All
be
right.
one of the moonbeam buildings.
Huh.
Well, clearly I need to go fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
That's what we're doing.
We need to go
Yep,
fix
yep.
that moonbeam.
Yes.
Yes.
Fix.
I can almost hear the quotes.
You already have inspiration.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay. So you go up to the building, and it appears to be designed exactly like the last moonbeam building that you were in. You do have an outer wall structure. I'm going to take a screenshot because that would be easier for you. But then
Wow,
this
it's
is also
even
a
got the
podcast.
zombie trapped between the airlock doors.
You got it last time.
I'm going to keep using it until it stops being funny.
Narrator voice. She never stopped using. It's like me with Get 'em, Ray.
Yeah.
Never not funny. So these doors actually appear to be mostly intact. It looks like while there was stuff that came in really near here, this particular structure got away unscathed just by sheer
Okay.
luck.
Well, I need to check over these doors, make sure that nothing's going to explode when they open.
Okay.
Because apparently that's a problem.
Apparently
that
that's been a
have
problem.
been-
Mhm. Been blowing
Apparently
up
has been a
little
problem at some
kobolds.
installations, yes. Now, this first set of outside doors, this wall is like a traditional fortress wall. It doesn't have a roof to it. It would prevent a ground assault, but not an aerial assault. And the doors do not have a button.
Oh, well, I'm going to take a look at the doors and see if there's any way to get them open.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Oh, not investigation?
Oh, there will be means of investigation during this particular excursion, if you will. But this
I knew that I'm in danger, Diff.
I'm in danger. That's a
that
0.
one.
You have rolled a 0.
That's the one. There it is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's our Simpsons reference for the evening as well.
I
So
could
these
just smash
particular
the
doors-
doors. I mean,
You don't even see hinges.
Okay,
Didn't the last one
you
slide?
gotta give me something to work with here, Chroma says to the building as if this...
as if it could change its mind and go, well, here.
Okay, see, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with this. You gotta give me something to work with here.
Well, the other one slid. What if we just push against the door
pushing
and
it?
slide it?
Which way, though?
Left or
Well,
right?
knowing Zach's anyway.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm going to try to push the door one way.
Give me a strength check.
All right. Strength checks.
I'm going to assist.
Okay.
You're going to
By
assist the
providing
person who has
arrows.
+7 to strength.
by providing arrows to provide leverage.
I have... Okay, the character sheet thinks I have a disadvantage at strength for some reason.
Oh, no, hold on. Why?
I don't know. But
Are
there's a
you
D next to it.
using...
Is this
I'm
character
just-
poisoned?
No, my other character, my cleric, is poisoned. This one
Yeah.
is not. So I don't know why it thinks that.
Well, I just
There's a D.
pressed the button. I have your character sheet open also, and it gave me an 18 plus 7 for 25. So
Okay.
we'll go
Sure.
with 25.
Yeah,
there
I don't know
is-
what was happening with that. So
I don't know either,
Okay.
but I'm just going to move forward because we're almost at 10:30 and it's a school night.
yeah.
So
yeah.
the arrow that is given snaps off quickly. So Neri has one less arrow. Well, shall we say it's disassembled in a way where reassembly is problematic. But in the process, that wedging that in and moving it until it broke got the doors apart just enough that Zax could get their fingers in there and do the rest of it. There is the sound of grinding gears that don't seem to want to be engaged, and there's some snapping noises. Every time there's a snapping noise, the door lurches a little bit more open. So this is a door that might not be able to slam shut afterwards,
Yeah.
or just be reshut.
Right. Yeah.
Afterwards.
Fiddle Punch would not approve of this method of door opening, but it's the one we've got. So
Yes.
Yep.
JR is noticeably wincing every time there is a sound of structural failure. But you successfully open that first set of doors to see a second set of double doors on the other side.
Okay, so...
Who goes there?
oh no,
A group of
Hello?
kobolds.
we're looking
Was
for.
that in Draconic or
What
Deep
are
Speech?
kobolds?
Good point. What
Um,
language are they speaking?
1 second, the DM will look it up.
Because if they're not speaking Common or Draconic, then
then
or
no one
Dwarvish, I
understands.
couldn't have responded.
Well, they definitely spoke a language that you can hear and
Okay.
understand because the DM used it.
Okay.
But
Then
the DM has to
probably
look it up.
Common.
Okay. So I'm gonna respond. We're kind of mall lizard people, sort of, and we're looking for others like us.
There are no one like you here.
Oh, and they are speaking Draconic, by the way.
Okay, Draconic.
Wait,
Are you from the Lizard Folk
are
clan?
you lizard folk?
We are lizard folk.
We have your brothers. They're safe.
You lie. Our brothers are here or dead.
Oh, more than one clan.
Not necessarily. The player cannot remember the names.
Oh.
Neither can I.
Kepesk and Mirik were the two that you did not brutally murder.
Do you know?
Kapesk and Mirik are back at our encampment.
We do not know these names.
Different
Oh,
clans.
Right.
Okay, then second question. We're looking for some Neogi that attacked us yesterday. If you don't know what a Neogi is, it's about
We
yay
know
high.
the Neogi.
Okay, we're looking to kill them after they attacked us. Do you know which way they went?
We do not know where Neogi have gone. We despise the Neogi. You are welcome.
Well, then we have
to
something in
kill
common.
them.
Well, we got to find them first.
We wish you well in your hunt.
Any ideas where they might be hiding around here? Because wait, can we see them yet?
No.
And-
You hear a voice
Just
calling
yelling.
out, but you don't see them anywhere.
Oh dear, I just had a thought. Neogi can mind control.
Yeah, I had that thought too.
Yeah, me too.
Do you say that out loud?
No.
Okay.
No.
Look, you mind if we talk face to face for a little bit?
We prefer not to. While you say you hunt the Neogi, we have only just met. We do not necessarily trust you.
Well, do you trust us more than the Neogi?
For all we know, you are slaves of the Neogi.
Oh, we know you might be, so...
We tracked the Neogi to a place near here. Do you know anywhere else nearby that they might be?
We have not sent many scouts out since we commandeered this facility.
Commandeered? What was here?
Many zombies.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah.
They do not taste very good.
No, I don't think they would.
No, generally not.
But
Boiled
the
meat.
larders are still full.
Look, if I just make a little bit of light, just so you can get a good look at us, would you let us see the rest of you in the room?
I will confer with my associates.
Give me a persuasion check.
I wish I was helping with this.
I don't think I have a lot to do with it.
I have a negative in persuasion, so
I'm proficient!
I have a negative in persuasion as well.
I have a +5.
so do I have to be the one rolling it, or can we
You're the
let
one who
Chroma?
suggested it.
Okay, I was worried about that. 16 somehow.
That's better than I got with advantage.
What exactly are you asking?
Just, I'll produce a small flame so you can get a good look at us, and then we'll try to light up the rest of the room just so we can see it.
It is agreeable.
All right, then I'm going to cast Produce Flame, which, as long as I'm not attacking with it, is basically me holding a small flame in my hand. I let them all get a good look at us.
Okay.
I wave.
JR waves. So remember I said the wall doesn't have it's an outer wall. It doesn't have a roof to it. All along the wall you see, I almost said see, but whatever. You see lizard folk heads peek up over the top and many, many spears.
Okay,
Okay.
so that means there's probably too many of them to be mind-controlled, so that helps ease my fear.
You
Yeah.
say that out loud.
I try to whisper that to the nearest kobold.
The DM's going.
All I'm saying is that there's too many of them to be mind-controlled. That shouldn't be too much of an insult.
Right. It's how we
Neogi
know
can
that they're-
only dominate one creature at a time.
And we saw 3. We see there's a lot more than 3 of you. I'll be upfront now that I see how many of you are.
You
That's
seem to
mostly
know
what
them.
we were worried about.
You seem
And
to
you
know
can
them
see
very
there's
well.
more than 3 of us.
The Neogi have hunted us for generations, picking off our raiding parties.
Okay.
We do
well,
not appreciate them.
That
yes.
tracks.
I believe that. No problem. I'll get rid of the flame and say, okay, we're going to explore the rest of the area around here because, like I said, we did track 3 Neogi to somewhere around here, and we still want to find them.
We appreciate the warning. We will keep out our defense.
Okay. With that, Zenosha's probably going to head out because she gets the impression these people don't like visitors.
Yeah. I'll
Sorry
follow.
about the
What gave you that
door.
impression?
Yeah, we did break open their front door.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, so
We will send you the repair bill.
Fair enough.
We will collect 3 estimates, as is custom.
Very kind of you. We'll pay it.
Who's gonna
Do
come
you
after
get
us?
Wi-Fi here? We cannot connect to Thumbtack.
I need to harvest my turnips in Animal Crossing.
I really, really want to play Kobold Animal Crossing.
One of the other lizard folk bumps the one on the shoulder that said that and says,
"You do not harvest turnips. You buy them on Sundays."
Right, so Zax is now leaving. Like, I don't know what this thing is they're talking about, but okay.
I'm going to see if I can pick up that Neogi trail again.
Does anyone have a charging cable for my Nintendo Switch?
Sure, I've probably got one in my bag folding.
The problem is, I'm not sure how canon that is.
it isn't canon. It is not canon at all.
Yes, but I can see Chroma just somehow having a wire that is exactly compatible.
Oh, I'm sure Chroma does, but a Nintendo Switch is not canon in my gaming world. Okay?
Right.
There are many things
Chroma
that are.
has standardized. Chroma has standardized on USB-K for Kobold.
Okay.
Right, if she standardized on USB-C, only she could use them.
Well,
I'm going to try
considering-
picking up the Neogi tracks again.
No,
Okay.
well, remember, sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So what you have are universal cables that are really universal. If there's a port, you can put them into the port and it will work.
Transmutation magic.
There is, however, some philosophical debates on the matter, and there have been some schisms of various faiths based on the definition of port. Moving forward, you head out again in search of trying to pick up the Neogi Trail, and we will find out if you find it next week, because that's where we're going to end it for today.
Okay.
Ta-da.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for playing. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Tonight I've been joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Archbeth, Ellie, Eo, Jen, Matt, Eric Hopton, and Cindy. So let's do a few quick plugs. Ellie runs a social network, elk.xyz, elekk.xyz. Many of us here have accounts on Elk, and it runs on Mastodon. So if you have a Mastodon account, you can follow us there. Our social details for Mastodon and Twitter and various other places are all available in the cast page in the show notes. Eo's mom writes books. You can get those at elizabeth-mccoy.com. Jen has a blog and podcast. You can get those at bookofjen.net. Many of the recent postings there involve a barbarian that likes to turn demons into paste, as one does.
Right?
Yes. Matt's brother-in-law also writes books. You can get those at nogodsbeforeus.com. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. Help us keep the lights on, along with other illustrious patrons, including Chris, Cindy, Ellie, and Eric. Those names might sound familiar because I've already said many of them tonight. I told them, no, you're my friends. You're playing in this game. You don't need to contribute to the Patreon. And they told me that I wasn't their real dad and I couldn't tell them what to do. I am also not your real dad, but you can donate if you want. And actually, many of the people who I'm referring to, all the people I'm referring to, I am not old enough to be their father. So that would leave some philosophical concerns on my part as well. All right. So until next time,
Hey,
this has been...
I've got something I want to say
Okay.
while we're still recording.
I'm intrigued and terrified.
Crash, we all think you're a good person, and we really like hanging out with you.
Aww.
Yes.
That warms my cold, dead, DMing, and middle school teaching heart. It gives me a warm,
thought
fuzzy
you-
feeling. Thank
Good.
you. So this is Crash saying, aww. See you next week, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.